You're such an asshole.
I love my job. I talked to the old man today, and he again being the disciplined and good Christian and cursing it. He in the best way he said without saying it. He said, "Tell me you're proud of me without telling me you're proud of me." I told all my friends at the place, and hey, yes, and then they look you up. They find out you actually do exist, and I'm like, yeah. Like, were they surprised when they think you were lying? Like, yeah, they think I do. I'm like, well, okay. It's the world we live in. My grandpa, oh my God, my grandpa, he was so cool. Well, I had two grandpa. One would be ashamed of me. the other, the other would be so proud. He'd be like, that's my grandson over there. That one. Yeah, that dumb shit over there. He called it, hey, you dumb shits, come here. And he give us $2 bills. World's greatest grandpa ever. Great at when those $2, the brand new crisp $2 bills. Woo! You had some top-notch grandpa then if you got the $2 bills. All right, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this wonderful job I got. So, old man, speaking of grandpas, old man Rolo, he had this on Twitter. I was waiting for the tires to get fixed. And then I'm like, what is this? And it's from The Guardian, which, if you don't know, The Guardian is a rank leftist newspaper. It doesn't make any money. It's out in the UK, constantly begs and pleads for like donations, which is better than BBC and NPR. And I just had to read through this. So do you wanna I'll read about the pointless, worthless, no-name journalist who wrote this, but let's go through this article. Motherhood on ice. Lack of suitable men drives women to freeze their eggs. Is it you're fat? Is it you're all mean? Is it that you don't have men prioritized? Is it that you got your career? Is it that you're all up? Is it nope? Nope. The reason they're not having kids, the reason they have to go in vitro, the reason they're freezing their eggs is because you men are not good enough. And I know I'm not even good. I can't get angry. I can't get angry. The reason why is I'm angry. The reason I can't get angry is that I am old and finally wise enough to understand the complete impossibility of these gals in general taking responsibility. I have seen responsible women. I have. They're rare. They're exceptional. But in general, just looking at it, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. You told guys for 2 generations at least that you don't need them. You tell them to be a bunch of soy boy Democrat voting pussies. You tell these sensitive 90s man. You tell them to be supportive and kind, get in touch with the feminine side. You don't go on dates with them. You stand them up all the time. So every individual interaction with is rejection, 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 which is the nature. It's the nature. And after singing the no song, which you're just all very good at, now it's men's fault. And I'm somewhat sympathetic, ladies, that you're right. The men of today are a bunch of pussies. They are a bunch of Democrat addicted to government spending, their parents living at home and all that. You are right. There is an increasing percentage of men. There's fewer marriageable men today than at any point in time in U.S. history. But these are the Frankenstein monsters you created. This is what you told them you wanted. And either the guys delivered with acoustic guitar strumming, poetry writing, liberal arts majoring, Democrat vote. Oh, they voted Hillary. Suck Peen now. Vote H. I did. Peen get touched now. Well, wonder that'd be great to see how much Republican D all these liberal girls have taken, and then no, I you're like a if we're not married at 30, huh? And yeah, I will say, men are also responsible a little bit for not getting jobs and not. All they did was exactly what you told them to do. You created these guys. You created them. And in rejecting them, which is where that's on you. But I'm not going to get angry. I wonder if Better Bachelor's going to cover this. He'd get if he covers it. Let me know if he covers it. I'll just tune in. I wonder if he's going to be angry, if he's just going to be laughing. He's got to be to the apathetic, like the gee whiz, like really. What happens to you, girl, if you ever take responsibility? Is it like matter and antimatter touching and the universe blows up? Do we all go? Is it like the reverse Big Bang? What happens? I mean, I've done things I didn't want to do. I live to talk about it. Do women immediately explode if that happens? Do they shut down? Cannot compute? Zerp. Oh, she's brain dead. What happened? Oh, she took responsibility. She was running here, had a thought, was actually honest about it, and just died. Jeez, don't do that again. I wrestle with my demons and my mistakes and my sins all the time. I constantly replay them. I could have done better. Oh, that was mine. That was my bad. I screwed that one up. Apparently, it's not possible. So I gotta laugh. I just gotta laugh. You girls are freezing your eggs, and it's all men's fault. Okay, you majored in dumb stuff. It's our fault you don't make as much money. You don't work as many hours as men do. Although they have come out with more recent intellectual studies showing that women who do major in the right things and work as many hours, make the same amount of men, sometimes a little bit more. Okay, all right, just whatever you got to tell yourself, sweethearts. Whatever and for you guys, just so you know, I wish I knew this when I was younger. Of course, I wish I knew everything when I was younger. You're not going to, in general, you will not get them to take responsibility. It's hard enough to get a guy to take a responsibility. Hey, you screwed up. Oh, man, what are you talking about? Everyone goes and protects their pride. Everyone. All right. But inevitably, you mature and you grow up. Not the 58-year-old lady who did the research on this. And certainly not the 30 and 40-year-old. I mean, you're on the planet for over 3 decades, sometimes 4, and you're still doing this. Blame men. This is a comedy bit. This is funny. You guys ready to read a funny article? Cappy going to read you a funny article. The lack of equal male partners rather than career or educational ambitions is why more women are trying to prolong their fertility. I'm going to tell you right now, your professions, the most of them are a joke. All right? This journal, independent journal, the nonprofit, the part-time teacher, all this stuff. All right. You're not an electrician. Now, of course, there are electrician people, of course. But no. If we're going to compare who carries their weight economically, does more of the real and necessary jobs in this economy, we'll go all day long and put my money on the guys. I will admit, this isn't a real job. I am not a real man with this job. This is not a real job. At least I admit it. Wow, I took responsibility. I'm still here. I didn't blow up. Okay, go. Whoo! Ho. See how easy it was, ladies? Right off. I mean, it's the Guardian, but right off the bat. Men aren't serious about their careers. Oh, okay, Miss Earlyhood Childhood Education Development person. Whatever. Oh yeah, you hand out the flyers to the 5-year-olds talking about gender fluidity. That's real important. Selfish, career-driven women, gullible dupes of the fertility industry, victims of the patriarchy. When leading anthropologist Marcia C. Inhorn, I've never heard of her. Guarantee you never heard of her. She's not a leading anthropologist, and anthropology is not a real study. First embarked on her decade-long study of why women freeze their eggs, the popular narrative was largely one of derision. There was a lot of either blaming women or saying that they're naive, stupid. Well, you're not stupid. I think you are naive. Where you girls, well, I've looked into this because I've had female clients. Just so you know, ladies, trying to help you out. Well, don't want to nudge you towards responsibility, but you need to freeze your eggs early. That increases it. Can you have a successful birth with eggs freshly pulling out of a woman with 40-year-old ovaries? Yes, it is possible. But it's a statistics game. And if you want to have kids and you're not sure if you're going to get married, half of you aren't. It is best to do it 23, 24, 25. Get the young eggs, and that will increase your chances. I'll leave it to you if you want to listen to me or not. Says Yale professor from a red armchair in her home in New Haven, Connecticut. Meanwhile, in academic circles, egg freezing was and still is often seen as a calculated act by women to hack their fertility by prolonging it through medical intervention. Not even against it myself. As if this was something very intentional that women were doing in this kind of planned, almost feminist narrative, says Einhorn. I don't know. You said you didn't need men. I bet you if I were to go back in all your statements there, Professor Einhorn, you probably have, your message was probably one of deterrence to men rather than welcoming. This argument was so compelling that it formed one of her initial hypotheses. Is it career and educational aspiration that's driving the turn to egg freezing? No, it's the fact you don't need men anymore. And that when given the choice, you would prefer career and educational aspirations. That's by choice. That's proven by behavior, by choice. Here we go again. I know you're not going to listen. You want to have your cake and eat it too. Your genetic reality is that you didn't like guys that much, high risk with pregnancy, blah, 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 blah. Now you don't need men anymore. And now you girls have made the choice, well, at 22, 23, whatever, I want to pursue my career. I want to pursue my education. I want to pursue my friends and fun. I mean, go look at the polling data. And I'm not judging that. You have absolute right. But if I choose to take my $5 and buy popcorn with it, I can't take that same $5 and buy 2 gallons of gas with it. And here you took your youth and beauty, you spent it working a career. Fine, that's your choice. Now you want to go back in time. This is men's fault. Not gonna just gonna laugh because I'm not the one like, I really want to have a child. I didn't want to have no kids. Apparently, now you girls do. This is just a nice circus for me and my fans to watch. Okay, this is me and my buddies. We all got our popcorn. We're here on the show. I'm just clicking on. Hey guys, watch this. This argument was so compelling. Is it career and educational aspiration that's driving the turn to egg freezing? I would also say, if you care to hear a theory, is you told past 3 generations of men that you're equal in all regards. And so a lot of these younger men, especially, thought, well, then the girls will ask us out. Have you noticed how few men are asking you out? A lot of those, I bet your younger men is like, well, I thought they were equal. Oh, man, they just don't like me. Oh, if I ask them out and they don't like, oh, they're very upset. Oh, there's discrimination. Don't talk. Ooh, I'm okay. I don't want to be one of those creepy guys. I know. You guys like, wait, you expecting him? No, I know. I guess I'm just painting a fuller picture for a fuller comedic effect. So we have an even bigger irony or crash or fall. But when she started speaking to women, it became almost immediately clear in the fact that something or someone else driving the globally expanding trend in which less than a generation has gone from unheard of to, in some circles, almost ubiquitous. More than 150 interviews later, her research, the largest anthropological study to date into why women freeze their eggs. What did you do? Just ask 150 girls over 10 years? 15 people a year. That's some aggressive polling. And she looks the way you'd expect her to look. You don't have to. They all look the same. It's all NPCs. Conclude, where did it go? The largest anthropological study to date into why women freeze their eggs concluded that it was men, not women, who were the problem. What if, I got a question. I am all for choice. What if men just choose to play video games and jerk off the porn and not hit the gym? What if they choose that? That's not a problem, right? Shouldn't you endorse choice? Wouldn't you, in a very libertarian sort of way, or certainly a liberal way when it comes to life choices, wouldn't you be just as adamant about men making their own choices? Like, well, yeah, I'm not going to work out. No, I'm gonna be sensitive. Do you like microbrews? I like IPAs. They're very hoppy. Let's go to Portland. The biggest driving factor for women in the U.S. was the shortage of suitable, educated men, a problem which she terms in her forthcoming book, Motherhood on Ice, The Mating Gap. May I also point out how this is your Frankenstein monster? I'm just doing it for posterity. I know they're not going to listen. You did vote to make unfair hiring practices, right? Where you can legally discriminate against men. and give preferential treatment to women, right? You did vote for that, right? That is policy. It's law, right? Okay. Gee, I wonder why men. Go back to the other video. Didn't the mostly female dominated HR industry say bachelor's required, master's preferred, and now guys like, forget that. I'm not doing that. And you are voting for student loan bailout, so there is no financial penalty for not getting jobs, right? Aaron, are you trying? No, I'm not. I'm not. Just for the guys. This is for the guys. We like things like reason and evidence and common sense and logic, consequences. Motherhood on ice, the mating gap. Oh, it's always a gap. Inhorn's research found that women freezing their eggs tended to be in their late 30s, which is it's not too late, but just trying to help out the gals. Successful high earning professionals in both the US and UK, where it's not usually covered by the NHS, it is prohibitively expensive for most. Wait, hold it. Successful high earning, but prohibitively expensive. Which one is it? And it's not prohibitively expensive. If you are high income earning, you can do it. You can save up the money. And primarily single. They were one after another women who had been successful in the career, yet didn't have the money to afford this. Okay. And at the same time had been looking for a partner, but they just couldn't find that reproductive partner. And you couldn't find a handsome fellow? Okay, all right. I fell. All right, I admit I fell on that one. I slipped up there. I'll take responsibility. Wait. Oh God, I'm still here. Okay, I didn't blow up. I didn't spontaneously blow up. It is short circuits. This, she says, reflects the growing gap between men and women going into higher education. In 2019, there are 28% more women than men in higher education and the U.S., and soon it was projected there will be 2 university-educated women in America for every 1 university-educated man. This, says Einhorn, is why men will make more money in the trades and women will need even more of a student loan bailout despite being strong and independent. Oh, wait, I added that. I'm sorry, I misread. This, says Einhorn, has left a stark imbalance when it comes to finding an equal partner. Okay. Just as an aside, guys, if this education disparity keeps going on, I don't mean an actual education. I mean, you go to college. If this keeps going, what's the point I was going to make? I mean, and you guys do trades, you're going to be better off. This status. I could understand money. I obviously understand looks, why women want a good-looking, tall man and a strong man. That's genetic. I understand the money, not because they're all gold diggers, guys, but they do want you to support themselves, and genetically, they would like you to support them as well. They may not say, they may not even act on it, but genetically, that's what they want. I don't know what it is they got this hard on for that. You got to be higher educated than them or as educated. I don't know what is that. Can you girls explain that to me? And education doesn't mean anything if you can't parlay that into money. It just means you got to, and then if you're like, no, it's really important to me. All right. And if it's not about money, because well, it's not about money, it's about educated. Well, okay, would you take a guy who is an autodidactic or an autodactic, a guy or a gal who educates themselves? What if the guy's just really well read? Like, let's say you got your doctorate in philosophy, but he's read 3 times the amount of philosophical books that you have, but he just never went to school for it. He just really liked philosophy. Would that be okay? Because it ain't about the money. Or does he need to have PhD or doctor in front of his name so you could go and brag to all the girls at the Hive? This is a miserable life they're living. This is horrible. Where do you get this? Where do you girls get this? Where? This is great. This is great. This is Einhorn has left a stark imbalance when it comes to finding an equal partner. Sit down, everybody. I know no one's going to. Your education doesn't make you equal or unequal. It really doesn't. It doesn't measure anything. Measure how long you sat in school. That's what it measures. Right? What I hate to say, you know what really measures your contribution to society? Your wage. It's not everything. I grant you that. There's morality, ethics, love, friendship, everything else. I got that. But if you want something that's pretty universal, like, are you worthwhile to society? It's your wage because society usually is going to pay you for that. Surgeons make more money because they're much more valuable to society than a security guard or a podcaster like me. Once again, I take responsibility. Wait, still here? Oh, okay. Woo, all this responsibility taking. Oh my goodness. And I have lived to talk about it. As this educational gap is not limited to the U.S., and this educational gap is not limited to the U.S., there are growing educational gender disparities in Canada and Europe, particularly in the U.K. Oh, nosies. The men as partners problem, says Einhorn. You can't. Could you just say men not as vested? It's immediately a problem. We're a problem, guys. We made our own. Women want choice, right? We want to be our choice, right? I want to play video games and jerk off to porn. I want to watch my big boobed animals. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. And the girls say, you do you. You can choose your gender. You can choose your degree. You can choose that. How dare you choose to stay at home and not deliver the... It's your fault. What? I'm just doing what you said to do. Still waiting for peen to be touched. Oh. This gal who did the study, she's in her 40s at least. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that... Your youth is over. Your beauty's gone. And you're still doing this? The men as partners problem, says Einhorn, has been a discourse in international reproductive health circles for some time, but is usually talked about in relation to poorer countries. It's talked about for men in the global south. Now we need to start talking about men as partner problems for women in the global north. What if we just leave it? Let us live our lives, man. Hey, man. Like, dude, just want to smoke pot and chill out. Why can't you relax, honey? Many of the women Einhorn spoke to said they wanted an egalitarian relationship, which often meant finding someone with similar level of education as the only metric, huh? But among those who did not object to partnering with somebody less educated, it still proved to be a problem because the men were often intimidated by the success of the women. Whatever you gotta tell yourselves. It's entertainment for me now. It's entertainment. We get to witness what would we call it? If this was Animal Kingdom, not an animal. I mean, we're all animals. We get to witness a species. Is that the correct botany term? Not botany, Animal Kingdom term. We get to witness a species for its first generation just lie itself to death. Just lie to itself. Like, okay, I got to see this. I got my popcorn. You got that garlic salt? It is. This is fascinating. It is. I thought I'd be an economist. I thought I'd be some kind of banker analyst type, and I was. It was fun analyzing countries. I thought that's where I was gonna, but it is. I know you guys don't like it. It is a cursing. This isn't normal. This isn't healthy. This isn't the way it should be. But by God, it's fascinating. And it is a blessing, guys. I know you probably want to get married to have kids, but this is just, no human in the history of the world got to witness this before. We're one sex. There we go. Sex. Sorry. Just runs itself crazy in its own mind, constantly dodging responsibility, constantly, no, it's their fault, shuffling fault, deflecting blame to the detriment of their own damn lives. They're going to freeze their eggs. It's going up against genetics, going up against nature. That's how desperate it's become. And you may say, oh my God, no. Listen to me. Just let it happen, man. Just let it happen. Not only because the morbid kid, it's a train wreck we get to enjoy. We're not on the train, man. Watch the train wreck. It's fun. Well, there's nothing else to watch. Right? But also the philosophy, it's their choice. Don't get angry. Don't get perturbed. Like, can you girls understand? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm like, you need a little push on that train? What? No, go ahead. Give me the finger all the way off that bridge. That's going. Go faster. You go. You go. Get your doctorate. Go more into debt. Just go, man. I gotta see how this ends up. I gotta see how this ends up. I'm gonna live as long as Dick Van Dyke just to see it. Just to see what happens. Are you guys kind of? I mean, this beats like we went to church and then had grandkids, and maybe that's what you wanted, to fall in love, and everyone was around you when you died, and you left a little bit of a legacy, and did 35 years at the Ford Motor Corporation. All right, we get to see it where the sex says "F you," and the reason everything doesn't go our way, even though we shot ourselves in the foot, is because you. It's like, all right, yeah. What else do you need? What? How much more? How can I add fuel to this fire? How can should I put some of those like cartoony XXX exploding cans on the train track? What do you want me to do? What? How do I make this even more spectacular explosion? Many of the women in Horn spoiled they want egalitarian relationship, but among those that did not, problem because men intimidated by the success of women. Whatever you got to tell yourself. Some women resorted to toning down their educational achievements on their dating app profiles to avoid putting them. Dr. Einhorn, will you give me your research data? I want to see if these girls were fat. I'll just tell you right now. I want to see if these girls are fat. Oh, you'll low play your educational. I want to see if they're good looking. I want to see. It's what I want to know. It's a variable or factor you probably didn't consider. Resorted to toning down their educational achievements on their dating app profiles to avoid putting men off, while others hired professionals to help them with the profiles. Sometimes men would joke or insult them about their job to say, "You're smarter than I am. I can go out with you. I can't go out with you." Maybe that's just flirting. Maybe that's him giving a compliment. Guys, think about how miserable it is to be these people. Think about this. Like, did you ever blame women for the degree choice you had? Hey, what have you blamed women for? For choices you made. When have you ever blamed someone that wasn't you? Oh. Sometimes men would joke. Okay, I mean, just really blatant kinds of misogyny and discrimination. He just said, "You're smarter than I am. I can't go out with you." That's misogyny and discrimination. You say, "You're dumb and I'm smarter than you." What? It's always your fault. Guys, rule to take. This is why you don't argue. Ryan Stone was so sharp on this one. Get his book, Praxeology, by the way. It's always your fault. And it's always your fault. It's never their fault. Never. It will never be their fault, and it will never not be your fault. It is always your fault. There's like this hardwired thing. It can't possibly be them. They're a billion and like a billion correct decisions and not one flawed mistake or decision about them. The concept that they could be wrong doesn't enter their minds. To the point the guy says, "You are smarter than me." That's misogyny. Bravo. But this is more comedic gold than this is morbidly fascinating, but it is fascinating. It is fascinating watching you gals just shoot yourselves in the foot, hit yourselves with the hammer. Well, this is men's fault. I know it's The Guardian. It's a joke publication, but okay. Oh. While the women may have been socialized to believe that they could have a career, a family, and an equal relationship, she found that men had not necessarily been raised the same way. Yeah, they followed your advice. You said no. Enough girls said no. Guys said forget it. You said that's harassment. I mean, maybe not you, but enough did. Right? A little cool. Isn't there a video going around on the internet right now where it's all the women pointing fingers? They're all dancing. I think it's in Europe or something. and they're pointing at you, calling you the forcible bedroom, not fun time person, and the murderer. I don't know where men would get the impression they would. Didn't you say you didn't need? Found men had not necessarily been raised the same way. Partnership was not high in the priorities of men. Okay, yes. Reluctant to commit and unready for fatherhood. Right. They might have been ready for fatherhood if they could get jobs at 18, but you had to go. Bachelor's required, master's preferred. Rock. Girls weren't exactly settling down, I imagine, in your teens and 20s. Who the women in her study were coming across. Then, did their fathers get divorced? Have you asked about, did you interview any of these men? Ah. Then there are those who simply didn't want to. I learned the term the Peter Pans. You know, the men who will never grow up. Yeah, the really hot, good-looking guys are getting laid all the time and have absolutely no incentive to grow up, meaning commit, because they got a harem. They may be educated men who have money and so forth, but they want to play around and have lots of fun and may not partner at all. Oh, no, choice. Wait, should you celebrate our choice? The diversity of choice and selections that men have made in their lives. Or may not partner well into their 40s and 50s, she said. On a personal level, Einhorn, who is a mother of two, but would have opted for egg freezing after getting divorced in her 30s. No. Really? Guys, AI could write this. You could just write this. These are not human beings. Like, I'm not saying women are human beings. I'm saying this particular person, the journalist writing this, people at the Guardian, it's a script. It's a program. It's a protocol. It's just executing it. It's so sad. Like, there's no brain here. You could predict it. It's just running an algorithm. It's running a script. But the thing, what's sad is it's like, but there still is a brain and a mind there. There's still a human being and they're in pain. I'm sure she didn't enjoy her divorce. I'm sure what prompted her to find this was some kind of resentment or disgruntlement, if that's a word with men, for her to do this study. I just love seeing tortured minds because they refuse to take responsibility or think independently or, oh my God, maybe entertain the idea you're wrong. I don't know how you guys improve your life. I improved my life by realizing where I was wrong and correcting those things. Said the lack of progress in men's attitudes since then is tragic. Okay, let me reread that again. Hang on. On a personal level, Einhorn, who was a mother of two but would have opted for egg freezing after getting divorced in her 30s, had it been available, said the lack of progress in men's attitudes since then is tragic. It is not tragic. That is our choice. Right? Is it tragic women get abortions? I would presume you would say no. Is it tragic that women got degrees and educations and careers? I presume you would say no. Is it tragic that women decide they might like women or men or both or whatever? It's not tragic. That's the choice. Why is it? We're objects that are to obey, and there's a should, and you know better. We are not independent human beings. We are robots that should be doing what you want us to. Okay, I see. All right. All right. No, I'm aware she's not going to realize the hypocrisy. Take responsibility. You don't want her to blow up, do you? Once you realize she's a hypocrite, that's a form of taking responsibility. Realizing you're a hypocrite, poof. And she's not around anymore. Maybe all the responsible women just poofed. That's why we're having troubles. Maybe in the olden days, they didn't poof away. They didn't explode. They stayed around. A lot of people I went to graduate school with didn't end up partnering, or they partnered in marriages that weren't really very happy. Wow, that's not possible. You girls are all a barrel of laughs. Yeah, you girls are just a bucket of fun. Again, you guys don't exist. You guys really don't exist. You're not sentient entities. You're just there to make them happy and to be the blaming bag. What do you want? Doesn't matter. And then no one's happy. Well, maybe you should have asked the guy what he wanted. It's, crazy idea. Can you see? It's not the solipsism. It is the solipsism, but the lack of awareness. Totally not self-aware. Totally not. This is someone who got a doctorate. I mean, of course, it's a joke field, but I mean, yeah, to sit down and have some discipline. Fascinating. This is a woman in her, I guess, to be 50s. These are your lead. This is a professor talking to other kids. This is on a publication that goes out. I don't know what the subscriber is, like 100,000, 200,000, The Guardian. I don't know. The idea that men are just plants. And, well, I watered you, and now you should bear fruit. I'm a cactus. You're not supposed to water me. Well, no, you're not. She says, and what surprised me 30 years on is seeing the same kind of partnership problems in this generation of women trying to figure it out. What's gone wrong? You haven't factored men into the equation at all. There's your short answer. What's great is I could give you the answer. I could tell you where the gold is, but you won't go dig it up because it goes against your ideology. You could not take responsibility. You could not. It would ruin you. That's what happened. You would not be able to sustain the pain and agony, accepting you screwed up and it's your fault for whatever various things have happened in the past. And so I could say very simply, you did not factor it all into what men want. That's why I want to know what these 150 women looked like at the time you did the polling. Were they physically attractive women? They weren't. Well, you obviously didn't factor in men's one. You didn't factor in it's a two independent variables, the men and the women. Men should just obey, right? Generation women trying to figure out what's gone wrong. Nothing. Men made choices. Nothing went wrong. Nothing went right. People just made choices. Fascinating. Thank you, madam. Thank you. The answer Einhorn's research found falls into two categories. One is the mating gap, and the other is what she describes as the reproductive waithood, the state women are forced into by a lack of suitable male partners. You just go bang a good-looking dude. What? Of the 150 women she interviewed, 36 froze their eggs for medical reasons, and the rest were healthy women who did so out of choice. All the women who froze their eggs exclusively were cisgender. Three of the women were bisexual. All the women, what? 3 of the women were bisexual, 11 were 111 heterosexual. While she did not interview men for her study, that says that she does not wish to portray them all as callous. There were many positive men in the lives of the women she interviewed, she says. Almost invariably, the women's stories of egg freezing were about men. So the book is the views of men through the women's eyes. How long is this? Oh, I better go through this quickly. Her findings home. Findings home. You mean hone? Hone? Or home in on? I thought it was hone. Her findings home in on the decline of men, which is a growing cause of alarm in the U.S., with books on the subject by Professor Scott Galloway, author of Adrift, and John Berger's Datanomics, How Dating Became a Lopsided Numbers Game. But Einhorn says this is also having a deleterious effect on women's lives. Oh, nosy. Oh, my God. Now do something. I am tired of. I mean, it's funny, but it just gets tiring. Like, yeah, it's our fault. Yeah, so we're going to get blamed no matter what. So I'm going to use anger management and stoicism. Like, yep, it's our fault. And just, what are you going to do about it? What's your next move? You going to fire up that Bumble app again? That'll be funny. Okay, yeah. Oh, no, the women's lives having a deleterious effect. The rise of egg freezing, granting new freedoms to women who can afford to, has also played out amid devastating constraints on abortion in the U.S. after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus. There are not devastating constraints. You can go to another state. It's called state rights. Again, it's The Guardian. Over time, Einhorn predicts egg freezing for career planning will increase among women in their mid to late 20s, but that partnership problems will remain. a key driver. The decision to freeze is fraught with difficulties, not least the cost. In January, the Observer reported the UK's fertility regulators calls for an urgent update to the law around egg freezing as rapidly growing numbers of women decide to go through the invasive procedure, often without being warned of the full financial, emotional, or physical costs. Don't you dare tell them to be responsible for any. Don't you dare tell them the facts. How dare you, sirs? Clinics experts, the experts. Clinics experts claimed we're adopting aggressive marketing tactics, knowingly heaping on extra costs to a treatment that can cost tens of thousands of pounds, not taking enough care of patients' physical and mental well-being. Okay, I agree with you there. They should not be doing that. There should be no hoodwinking, no fraud, essentially. The government has since launched a consultation which closed earlier this month, and the Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority expects to submit its final recommendations this summer. In her book, Einhorn writes that closing the gap between the genders will be a critical policy challenge in the decades ahead. What if we don't want to? Are you going to socially engineer us? You see the hypocrisy? Like, we can't. You were complaining about abortion here in the United States just a little bit ago, but now but how dare those men? We gotta get more. Would you be okay with you saying we need more policies to lessen abortion? Why do we need more policies for men to what? Marry up? I don't know. You girls keep voting in socialism. I think a life of playing video games and internet prawn and chicken tendies all on you hardworking women's government. You're going to get 2 times the degrees, right? Good. You guys can pay the taxes. Consequences. Oh, nosies. But until society fixes men. Wow, really? Did you just say that, lady? Okay. You should get a little mustache here, sweetheart. In her book, Einhorn writes that closing the gap between the genders will be a critical policy challenge in the decades ahead. But until society fixes men. Is Einhorn German? Or is it more Austrian? Do you like to paint? Nice tanks. Look at those tanks over there. Oh, they're big. Egg freezing will remain the best reproductive option for single women in their 30s. Oh, God, I hope so. I hope so. But in the meantime, she says she should focus on celebrating women's successes. Women around the world are really doing amazing things in higher education. No, you're not. Like, I looked at the numbers, National Center for Education Statistics. Now that doesn't speak for the United Kingdom, admittedly. You're all majoring in truly stupid stuff. I know you're not going to listen to them. I know, but ooh, anthropology. Ooh, you avoided a lot of math. You looked at a lot of skulls. Ooh, the girl who wrote this journalism degree. Ooh, just brave and amazing at avoiding real work. Just brave and amazing. Engineers, programming, doctors. Okay, here's Betsy Reed. Oh, she's asking for money. Imagine that. Let's scroll up to Miranda Bryant. Okay, here's a younger gal. Does she have more Twitter followers than me? Do I want to log in first? No, I don't want to log in first. Come on, just okay. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to open it up in a different thing. This, successful women making lots of money can't afford egg freezing. I just want to know if this gal who works for a very well-known published publication, if she, okay, all right, it's going to be this way. It's going to be this way, guys. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be this way. Don't want to log in. I just want to see how many followers she's got when her whole point and purpose was to become a journalist, and mine was to not. A little free advice for you journalist ladies out there. Stop writing the same shit over and over again. Try something new. Try something different. We can't discern through the sea of stupidity and commonality and gray morass of all the unified same common opinion and thought. Wow, your solution is more of other people's money, huh? Oh, boy, that's revolutionary. Come on. All right. All right. Miranda Bryant. Miranda Bryant. Where do I search? Oh, here we are. Miranda Bryant. Okay, Miranda, come on. You got to have more than me, man. Guardian columnist Miranda Bryant. Like, okay, you're mentioning her and all these things. All right. Oh, this is if you want to, if I want to retweet it out. That's what the link was for. Miranda Bryant. Piano Fever. Vulnerable UK women forced into sex for rent by cost of living crisis. Learn to code. Maybe I can find her. Miranda Bryant. Twitter. Miranda Bryant. Okay, here's it. 2,800 followers. Oh my God. Wow. Jeez. I'm not going to tell you to major in engineering. I know it's the patriarchy, and that's why you don't make money on the righty rights. Oh God. She's on the train too. She's on the train. She's not going to hop off because it's the patriarchy making sure. Hang on. Miranda Bryant. I just want to know what she studied. Miranda Bryant, Guardian. There's no like bio. Freelance journal. All the problems is okay. Let me look. Linda Bryant, journalist, LinkedIn. Nope. That's a different Miranda Bryant. Nope. No, a lot of Miranda Bryants out there. Okay, well, I'm glad you majored in whatever it is that you got 2,800 subscribers. Christ, we could get Elkins up to that much in a weekend. All right, there you go. Link below. What do I got linked below? Oh, the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex, which I made an honest to God effort to write for both men and women and for feminist women because they are going to be living without men. All right. The subtitle is called Life Without the Opposite Sex, and it gives you guys purpose and reason to find in life outside the opposite sex. Because you girls, the whole article was about how you can't find guys. All right. And I did my best to go down on because it necessitates that if you're not going to have men in your life, it would necessitate a feminist outlook. And so I tried my darndest to write that out. No girl was going to read it because it's written by a guy. But anyway, as half the women are not going to be married, that means half of you men are not going to be married. Many of you are acutely aware of that in your dating successes. So before you call it quits, like there's no reason to live, and before you submit yourself to a life or succumb or resign yourself to a life of video games, internet prawn, and the chicken tendies, may I recommend you get the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. It goes through a menu of everything there is to do in life that gives you point, purpose, and reason in living, and maybe even achieve a little bit of happiness. I say contentment. And if you guys want to see my feminist writing skills, go pick it up and read through the women's section. I thought I did good. I thought I did real good. All right. Let's go through the super chats. Let's go through our super chats and have ourselves a treat. Scrolling. Is Pop podcasting right now? Is that why I got two? That's pretty good of me to have 300, but I'm wondering if Pop's got everyone. Donna Hannaford will know. He's probably podcasting right. She's torn. Oh, she loves me so much, but Pop's pretty sexy MRFer. He's very funny, very charming, very charismatic. Yeah, I could see it's a tough choice between me and Pop. We should all do a Manosphere, shirtless calendar or something. I know, I'd look actually okay. Maybe I'd have the Manosphere shirtless calendar. Dong is fun, $5. I've had many women reject, but in time they contact me. When they do, all I can hear is crinkling in their downstairs. Now it's my time to reject. What's crinkling in they're downstairs. Okay, I thought you meant they're downstairs and walking on paper. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I know, anecdotally speaking, a lot of guys, the girls they'll ask, like, hey, can you help out with rent? Like, no, equality. You have to treat women equal. You have to. You have to. Wisco Nomad. Come on, computer. $5. You're out there busting your butt, working 24/7, but she ends up cheating on you and says, but he didn't spend enough time with me. it just, guys, I've known a handful of guys now where a girl didn't want to go out with him anymore. One guy in particular a while ago. And how it hurt. The guy, I remember this guy was 50 years old. I was only like 26 at the time. And it started getting annoying because he kept like, what do you think? Why? Because why shouldn't he have the balls or the responsibility to tell him? And I had to tell him, it doesn't matter why. All that matters is what is. And if you guys could get to the point to realize, unless you actually did screw up, to realize that it's always going to be your fault. You say, what did I do? They're going to skew it away to make it. The answer is she didn't want to go out with you anymore. The answer also is she doesn't want to have the guilt or the pain. So they will go through all the mental acrobatics to come up with a reason and a rationale. One gal even did this to me. She all of a sudden, well, you got kind of a temper. I'm like, what are you talking about? Things are going rather well, actually. I got a temper. What? And it's kind of like when someone accuses you of racism, it makes you angry at that person. Like, see? It was kind of like that. I don't have a temper. Yeah, you do. You're like almost blown up all the time. I'm like, what are you talking about? See right there. I'm like, oh God. It confused me a little bit, but I was getting my commission pretty soon to be a lieutenant capitalism before promotion to captain. And I kind of knew, I'm like, okay, whatever. Sure, fine. You cannot listen to the excuses they give. Why she divorced you? Why did she just, whatever. She didn't want to go out with you. That's it. There it is. There's your answer. But you're not going to get reason or responsibility. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. Nom, nom, nom. Nelson from The Simpsons. It's not maybe the show you want to watch, guys, but it's the only show showing. Wholesome DJ Aftershock, $5. Minneapolis is the first major city to officially start to broadcast all the Islamic call to prayer 5 times a day on speakerphone. Let's go. Cool. Okay. Have fun living there. Did they vote for it? Did they want to? Okay, go ahead, do it. Can church here, on honesty, can churches do bells? Are they allowed to do bells? Ass bucket, $2. Women would rather have careers, pets, and pills. Yes, they have. That's what I'm saying. They have made their choice. They don't realize that in making their choice, it denies them the opportunity of the other choice. You either have your cake or you eat it. You don't get to have your cake physically present. Look, I have my cake, and then eat it as well. Wholesome DJ Aftershock, $2. You had any dealings with the Hmong in Minneapolis? Yeah. They're in St. Paul. Worked with some. Yeah. They're in school. They're there. They're just like regular old people. They're just Hmong. So they well-behaved, very working hard, Asian engineer, STEM stereotype. No, they were really good. Well, that was pretty much every Asian kid, though. When I was on the St. Paul campus and they had a Mortal Kombat, and man, they'd be lined up with the quarters and they know every freaking move you'd watch. Remember when you watch other people play, like, oh, how do you know that? They knew every freaking move, man. But that wasn't relegated necessarily to the Hmong community. That was the Asians in general dominated that field. LZKD 721 for 20 generous dollars. He's a great guy, a wonderful man, a great man, and it has nothing to do with the $20. I'm a Latino working on the elevator trade in DC. The amount of women that reject me because I'm a construction worker is insane. Why don't you say like you're an elevator technician or engineer? It won't matter. But yeah, I get it. Currently figuring out what I'm going to do with my free time in the future. Thanks, Cappy. I don't know how far away, like how many generations you are removed from the home country, but if you're like one generation removed, I think about making a bank of money, Going back to the home country if it's safe. Like Venezuela, hell no. Argentina, hell no. But I don't know, Mexico or someplace, buy yourself a nice little spot of land. Go get yourself a girl. God, you're in DC. I mean, Kyle, there's more than one reason you ain't finding the girl, son. Lord Azul, 220 Canadian Cappy. This is why we need to enjoy the decline. I know. By the way, if this bothers you guys, go get my book, Enjoy the Decline. If you don't like Biden and politics, you watch too much Fox News, you're pissed off, go get Enjoy the Decline. Because I'm going to eat some homemade food here pretty soon, and I'm going to sit and chill. Let's trust more truth. $2. Education equals correctly indoctrinated, meaning weakened. Absolutely. Wisco Nomad, $2. Not a feminist to be found in Ukraine right now. No, there's not. No, there is not. Wiz Division Production, $5. Women tried to pull the rug. Tried to rug pull the 265, 200. Okay, Cappy, here we go. College educated. Women tried to rug pull the 650-pound Bengal tiger named Reality. I wonder how this will end. Beauregard, fetch me thy popcorn and thy butter. It is. And I'm not laughing at the girl's demise. I'm laughing at the fact they're doing it to themselves. And it's not even that. It's the arrogance and hubris and the confidence, and then the erroneous blame on us that we're the bad guys. I have to go. What do I got to do to make you do this faster and bigger and better? What do I need you to do? Max powers this thing up, all right? Max powers, but you mustn't touch. Wisco Nomad, $2. They append a doggy ice cream shop by me. Nuff said, oh, they opened a doggy shop, ice cream shop by me. Nuff said, well, there you go. There's some girls for you. Oh my God, you like dogs? I like dogs too. They like bark and they got paws and ears. Yeah, look at those whiskers. Wiz Division Production, $2. The greatest slow-mo car crash in human history. It's a plane crash, I think. It's a plane crash. I'm like right there, man. I'm like they're all hitting menopause. I mean, every generation is going to have their plane crash or their train crash. The Zoomers, man, that is going to be one hell of a plane. That's going to blow them all. I wish I could be here to see it, guys. I wish I could, but I don't know if I'm going to live that long. Dung is fun. $2. Blaming men isn't easy cope strategy. Or is an easy cope strategy. I think you want it. Yeah, whatever they want, whatever they got to tell themselves. As long as they don't change, as long as they don't take responsibility and make decisions based in the real world, we're going to be good. Okay. DigiNomad 220. Guys should contact Troy before going gold Cappy. Yeah. Troy Francis travels a lot. Talk to him. I don't have a lot of experience with the overseas passport pro deal thing. I've dated foreign girls when I was younger, and they were nicer than the American ones. I'll tell you that. Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy blames his mom for being 5'3" overlooked. I'm not 5'3", I'm 5'9". Ron Suarez, our other Latino agent in the field, for $2. How do I get the girls up? You just keep doing your Ron thing. All right. And soon they'll like you for you. And God almighty, I think you really do have to go get a master's degree and make 6 figures and not be intimidated and not be funny or like, are women capable of humor anymore? Like, I thought this kind of clever. Well, you were too smart for me. I can't go out with you. I thought that was funny. No, misogynist. Sam Whiskey, $2. It's Cappy's fault. David's bridal is bankrupt. Nope, not my fault. It's the waistline of somebody's fault. Nonstop Trade, $2. Men die in war, women most affected. Women oppressed. Yep, Hillary Clinton said that. Lesbian mustard bottle, $1. Thank you. That it? Vlad Elkins. I'll be on a show with him tomorrow. Do you think I get along with more with Fresh or Fit? They are kind of Bert and Ernie. They're a little Bert and Ernie-ish. Fresh is more Ernie, Fit's more Bert, but not to the extreme. It's not like Like Myron's all pissed off all the time, and Fresh is some dope. But Fresh is the easier going of the two. Mine's a little bit more serious. Yeah, but see, Myron's real. I know you guys see the Girl Show. Go listen to one of his shows and listen to him make his points. The dude's smart. The dude has great insight. It depends on, like, if you had to go drinking. Now, Myron don't drink. If you had to go drinking, I guess I'd go drinking with Fresh. If you, I don't know, if you try to think what Myron would do. If you were forced to go to a party of loud people that you don't want to go to but had to, you would definitely want Fit. You want Myron because he'd be the only intelligent person to talk to. He'd be the only guy to keep you sane while everyone's like talking dumb shit and all that. Yeah, so kind of depends. AGB, $5. Thoughts on getting a sugar baby here in the United States instead of living overseas? Yeah, go ahead, get one, but they're pricey. I mean, as long as you know it's just sex, I'm not. Two are consenting adults, go do it. I'm open to both ideas, but I want to know your thoughts. I mean, what's your goal? Is your goal to get married or raise a family? Let's just say I'd go overseas. If you want a piece of arm candy, you want to get laid occasionally, get the sugar baby here and don't spend the money flying overseas. Vitorium de IFA, 220 euros. How are women equal to men? They're not. Here's the difference. We're using the wrong word. Women are not equal to men. Men are not equal to women. We are not the same. We are not interchangeable. That's what people want us to be, interchangeable. We're not interchangeable. Are we humans? Yes. Should we be treated as equals? Yes. But we are different. And so I think that's the problem is where we get this interchangeability. I can't give birth. All right. I get angry. I don't have patience. Women do that better than me. I can usually outrun most women, outfight most women, even my small size. Women aren't. It's the old, we're complementary. We are not interchangeable. But when it comes to like law, because we're humans, we should both be treated equal under the law. And then it's up to the individuals in society to hash out how men and women, because of our differences, should be treated different. And you should. Like, I'm trying to think of something that's like, what would be unfair? Just try to. It'd be unfair to force girls to watch, Schwarzenegger action flicks. Although women like that too. Just it would be unfair for you to be forced to watch a bunch of romantic comedies or Harlequin romance shows. Those are bad examples, but you get my point. We're not the exact same. You can't swap out a guy for a gal. John Smith, $5. How old is too old to go to med school? I'll be around 30, no debt, living with parents, focusing on getting all A's, want to go into plastics. I don't know. The only thing I know about med school, being a doctor, is you really got to want to do it. So I'd go like volunteer at a hospital and go figure out if you even want to be in that environment, because that is one hell of an investment. But I would say there's no age, just whether you want to do it. Wholesome DJ Aftershock, $2. Square root of 9 is 3. So 5'9" is the same as 5'3". Wisco Nomad again, $2. But Bidness, bro. I want to see what these guys were on the survey she did. Victoria D. IFA 220. Thoughts on drafting women during wartime? Absolutely. Look, the laws they wanted equality, right? We have to treat them equally. It should be, and the Republicans cucked out as they always do. Like, no, they should have been voting for like, nope, you're equals. You are absolutely equals in every regard. You're going to drive half the time. You're going to pay for your own thing. You're going to pay for your own rent. You are going to be equal. And see, that's unfair treatment under the law. That is discriminatory, or sexist, if you want to call it that. It's in their benefit they don't get drafted, but it's still discriminatory. All right, that's it. Questions, answers. See you guys later. Toodles.